Camille.
Don't take care. Hope to see you never.
Kids are here!
Dude, stop acting like you're the number one guy in this group, man. I'm the number one guy in this group.
Things are about to get murderous.
Jax continues to throw shade at Danny, and it's just not working for him.
No.
Yeah. We're recapping the Valley, the season finale of season 2. This is Confessionals and Congressionals. My name's Lauren.
I'm Cassie.
And we got a lot to get into. I absolutely loved this episode. What did you think?
I loved it. And I was so the party at the end is like 20 full minutes.
Yeah.
So
and good drama. And I really loved the little ending where Jasmine is like, this group is basically like worse off than they were before. I've never seen a group that's less zen. And then it has like all the little clips of everyone.
This was a really well edited episode.
The kaleidoscope with like Janet like kaleidoscoped all over, that really got me going.
Yes. This was perfect. I really loved this. So I'll give you my theory when we get closer. But I messaged you last night that I think that this episode is really the end of Jax and what led to it.
Yeah. Do you think the end of Jax like forever, or you think the end of Jax like off the next season?
Well, definitely off the next season. Yeah, because they get these early. And so I think when he saw this and production probably talked with him about, like you couldn't recover.
Yeah. And I actually watched the after show, but I also watched Watch What Happens Live with Brittany and Zach from they recorded it on Tuesday.
Okay. I haven't seen it yet.
Actually, did they record it on Tuesday? I think so, yeah. So they recorded it on Tuesday, and I'll just tell you, there weren't any spoilers for the episode because it came out before the episode dropped. But she did say that, first of all, we're going to find out more in the reunion about what they really think about whether he's sober right now or not. But she also said that she was like, his choice to leave, or sorry, she said something like him leaving, she found out the day before, and it came as a welcome. She was very happy about whoever decided to do that, basically. Alluding to the fact that, like, it wasn't by his own volition, which is what we assumed, is that he wasn't like, you know what? I'm going to bow out of this next season. I should take some time for myself and work on my sobriety. She's, like, alluding to the fact that, like, no, it wasn't, like, his decision. He was asked to leave, which is what we thought.
Yeah. Well, and my husband watched it last night, too, because if you can tell, we're not at home.
Yes, you're traveling.
We are traveling. So we are in a hotel in, I think, Mississippi. I'm pretty sure. And so I got to watch it live because I didn't have to wait for Peacock because the hotel had cable.
Yeah.
So, but that meant everybody had to watch it.
Yeah.
So, and it was, what was so funny is my, one of my teenage boys, he was like, so what is the point of the show? And I'm like, I don't know what you mean. It's reality television. And he's like, right. No, I get that. But like Love Island, like you understand what the point is, right? Like so what is the point here? And I'm like, there's no point. This is it. It's,
you know what I think? I think that boys should be barred from watching these shows if they're going to have critiques like that, because the point is the point. Like, you're watching the point.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. This is, I mean, come on.
This is the point. The point is like how crazy these people are.
Exactly.
Don't you love to watch this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, God.
Yeah. And what did your husband think?
Oh, so he was just saying because I told him my theory about like, this is why Jax left. And he goes, the thing is it wouldn't matter. Like if production told him, you're taking next season off. He's like, Jax would always say it was his decision. That would always be his MO.
Yep.
So.
Right. And that's how he like saves face. That's probably what his team would tell him to say either way. Like, as long as he can leave with grace and dignity, he should do that. And his team would encourage him to do that. So the only reason he wouldn't do that is if he blew things up so much and like refused to leave and they had to fire him.
Well, and on Vanderpump, he was someone who never admitted that he was fired. Like him and Brittany released a joint statement that's just like, we're stepping away. And it was, we obviously now know he was fired.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I have to submit a formal apology. I have a couple of things right off the top to say, okay?
Okay. All right, let's do it.
First, Zach, I must wholeheartedly apologize for my poor judgment of you at the beginning of the season. I remember saying that I thought he was being a B word. And
Yeah.
I mean, he was being a B word. But now that I know the full context of the Janet situation, I just see it so much differently. Not that it's ever okay to say like the most awful things you can say about somebody, but you can tell how like hurt he is by how targeted her attacks are on him and like everybody else. And he's just in Brittany and like not standing up for him. And like, he's just clearly so hurt and upset. So I don't know. I formally apologize for jumping to conclusions about Zach. I didn't really like him at the beginning of this season because of the way he was acting. And I've really come around to him, not only watching him on the season, but listening to all of his interviews. And yes, I have listened to all of his interviews and watching all of his social media and watching him on Watch What Happens Live. Like he's a fierce protector of the people that he loves. He is very emotional. He is very in tune with like how he feels about things. And that can sometimes, I mean, it makes good TV. I'm really glad he's on our screens and I love to see him and I can't wait to see what he does next season. I feel like he's coming into himself.
Yeah, when we had it on last night, there was a point near the end where when him and Brittany are having that argument, and he's like, my friends wouldn't have to tell me to stand up and be on their side. I would do that. And I think it was my husband that was, again, because everybody was forced to watch with me, said something like, is he really that kind of friend though? Or would he be the same way? And I said, no, he's really that kind of friend.
Yeah.
He would definitely have Brittany's back no matter what. Like he would ride for her. Yeah. And I think he's hurt that she's not doing that for him.
Yeah, and Brittany just like can't take a side on anything. We've talked about this before, and I actually made a TikTok about it this morning because it's like actually really starting to bother me. That, like she just like, I want you to picture this. Let's do a thought experiment really quick. You and I are hanging out. We love each other. We're sisters-in-law, but we're also friends. And we have a mutual friend. Like you have a mutual friend who treats you in ways that makes me mad. And like, if I saw them, I would like not be nice to them specifically because I feel like they don't respect you and your friendship.
Yeah.
And like, I think sometimes when we watch these things on reality TV as a third party, we can be very judgmental about how people behave and stuff. This is one of those things where I actually do think in real life, I don't like the person who can't pick a side. Like if you're nice to me, but you're not like if somebody's nice to me, but they're not nice to you, that person isn't nice. They have something to gain from being friends with me, whatever that is. Maybe they like how I treat them. Maybe they have something to gain. Brittany is basically the star of this show. Like somebody has something to gain by being close to her, by being in her proximity and by being on her side. So I just think that that's just so much bullshit. I call bullshit. I think it's Brittany's codependency, her inability to just be like, when you treat people poorly, that is a bad characterization of you. Like it makes your character look bad and I'm allowed to walk out of that relationship.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, even with Jax's really stupid analogy later, even if we worked with that, there are people that thought Bundy was very charming and nice.
Yeah.
But once they found out what he did, that's not the hill they die on.
Right. That's not... Yeah, and he couldn't even remember who it was, which is so Jax coded. I know. But I mean, he's desperate to like make somebody else look worse than him, and it's not working.
Yep.
Danny and Nia have remained, have left this season with their reputation intact.
Yes, I totally agree.
Despite everybody's best efforts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my first formal apology. And then secondly, I have a complaint for Peacock. Okay?
Okay. I'm ready.
Peacock, your app fucking sucks.
What did it do?
If I'm watching a TV show, it does a lot of things that I hate. But if I'm watching a TV show And it's like a TV show I watch every week on your on your app, and a new episode comes out, and you don't put that right in front of my face. It should be the first thing I see when I open your app. If I have to go digging, I have to search for The Valley. I have to actually type it in. I watch it every week. I've watched it more than once. Like, it should be the first thing I see. It really drives me crazy.
Every week, every single week, I have to go
Why am I
search.
searching for it?
I know.
Did they take it off Peacock? Oh no, there it is. Why isn't it the first thing I see?
I know. I'm
Lose
with
my
you.
damn mind.
I'm with you.
Yeah, so that's my big complaint. Other than that, let's get into the recap.
All right. Am I leading us today, or do you have the notes?
No, you're leading us. I think you do a better job. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I took notes last night. You should have seen my teenage daughter was watching, and I'm like on page 3, and she's like, "Are you writing all of that on this show?" And I'm like, "Yeah." There's a lot to remember. I can't pause.
This is my dissertation.
Right. Come on.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right, so we obviously started off with the previously on, and I was just curious what they were going to give us for the previously on because it's the finale, right? And so usually we're more recapping the season, and it was everything that you would expect, like the important hits with Jax going to rehab and filing for divorce, like all the important things, except randomly we also saw the rollerblading.
Right.
So I just thought it was interesting because I was like, that's going to be important. That's going to be important. Why am I watching them again?
Yeah, you're right. They should like be pulling the highlights and then something silly ends up. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then anyway, so then we start out with the first scene. We're over at Lala's house meeting her new baby.
Yeah.
Can I just tell you that when she goes to either take her shirt on or off, this baby is like a week old.
Yeah.
The genetics on that woman.
I know.
Unreal.
It like hurts my stomach.
It does. Yes.
Yeah.
Looks amazing.
Yeah. She looks amazing.
I know. So we've got Janet over there and Michelle. And this is where Michelle starts talking about like how she always thought she was only going to have one kid. But now that Aaron wants.
And Brittany, right?
Yeah. Brittany says it too. Yeah.
Okay.
But now because of Aaron, maybe she'll want more kids, which I just think it's interesting, like how quickly this relationship is this serious.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if it's a red flag, but it is interesting for sure. And it sounds like her and Jesse, once they moved past friends with benefits, also moved quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Could say something.
Yeah. And then we have Brittany talking about the argument she had with Jax the day before and how she let him have it. And that he made the comment that, you know, she told him, like, you're going to start paying for half of everything. And then he, like, threatened to get alimony. I liked Lala's little quip here of, like, so he might have to give up his cocaine addiction. Like, that's
yeah,
what
she was like, he doesn't have any money because he has a cocaine addiction. I suggest you give that up. It's not a luxury you can afford.
Yes.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yes. I didn't think, again, this is where Brittany brings up that she's not comfortable having Jax or having Cruz at Jax's new place. But she again leads with the nasty girl thing.
I know.
And I'm like, don't lead with that. Lead with, like, I need to know my son is safe, and if he's using.
That's because that's how she feels.
I know.
And she's not smart enough to, like, not say that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
Sorry, Brittany.
That's it. Yeah, it's not a good look.
Also, on Watch What Happens Live, she said, which, again, was recorded this week, I'm pretty sure, unless it was, like, a back recording, but it was recorded recently. She said that he's still not paying anything. Anything.
Oh, God.
Anything. Okay, keep going.
That's going to catch up to him. I'm telling you what, because the court will put him in arrearage. Like, you're going to pay it.
Yeah, like, he doesn't understand things.
Well, obviously not.
He doesn't care.
He didn't pay his taxes for how long?
Yeah, like, he actually feels no obligation to follow the rules. That is why I think he's, like, actually a psychopath. Like, he doesn't feel any obligation to follow the rules. That is, like, not okay.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Brittany starts talking to Janet about how Kristen, Zach, and Luke do not like her.
Yeah.
And they get into this. What I clocked on this, what was interesting to me was when Janet, you know, they were talking about the fight that they had on the cruise from hell, and that Kristen had threatened to like hit Janet. And Janet was like, oh, I wish she would have. And then like she gets into like her going to jail and the ring in the bag. And I'm like, you seem really familiar with what happens when you get to jail.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not. Like when she was saying these things, I'm like, oh, they take your ring? I didn't like, I mean, obviously if I think about it, yes, that makes sense.
Sure, yeah.
But just the way she laid it out, I'm like, has she been arrested?
And you've watched a lot of crime shows, so
Yes.
it's not like you wouldn't know what happens. Yeah, I think she has been arrested.
I think so too. Have
I
we
think she
looked?
got arrested when she was like for underage drinking or for marijuana or something.
Okay, so nothing too serious. Well, yeah, that was my thought. But I'm like, I think she's been arrested in her past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe more than once. Also, her husband's a lawyer, but like, I don't know why she would know that off the top of her head unless she's been arrested.
Yeah, and
Or
he's
know
not a
somebody been
criminal.
arrested.
He's not a criminal lawyer. It's not like he's bailing
Right.
people out of, you know, getting people out of jail.
Yeah.
So it was interesting.
Yeah, she's so annoying. I think that if Janet stays on this next season, which I don't think they've decided yet, I think they're waiting until after the reunion. I think they're waiting until after they hear everybody's thoughts, just like they did with Jax. But I think that if Janet stays, then they're going to either bring in Scheana or Lala.
Yeah, I agree.
I wonder if, since Jax is leaving, Tom Schwartz isn't going to be on.
No, I think Schwartz will be how we make up for Jax not being on, as far as like he'll be our window if they continue to discuss Jax.
Yeah.
You know, like I know
Right.
with Vanderpump they didn't, but that's also we didn't have Brittany still on.
Yeah.
You know, if they're going to keep Brittany, you almost can't not address the Jax of it all.
Yeah.
So Schwartz could be the window into that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, or we
Anyway.
just bring back Sandoval and Stassi and we call it VPR2. Let's just go. Come on.
I know. Oh my God, Stassi. None of these people would stand a chance against Stassi. Janet, goodbye forever. You
Yes.
would not stand a chance.
Yes.
Yeah. So as far as we know, they're not filming yet though, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and usually they would have been filming by now.
Yeah, I mean, definitely by this week, at the very latest, cameras would be up.
Yeah, so I think they're waiting to see what people think about the end of this season before they like make their casting decisions. That's
Yeah, and
my
I don't
opinion
know
based
how
on nothing.
you would film with I mean, you just can't have a cast that refuses to film together because then we can't get any of the live drama and it's boring.
Yeah.
Season 11 of VPR.
Yeah, and it's boring when Janet keeps walking out of the conflicts and not being willing to participate. And I think that she's shooting herself in the foot by not participating in the conflicts.
Yeah, I agree.
If she would stay and like try to fight, then I think that she would be fighting for her position on the show. And I actually think that Scheana's audition was at the very end of this episode, which we'll get to.
Okay. All right. Anything else from that scene?
Just that I would love to see Lala on the show now that I've seen this, or on a show. I think that this version of her is so sweet, and I really like to see her. So I don't know. I liked the scene with her, and Baby Sosa is adorable. My other thing is Janet in this scene says she tried with Kristen, and I wanted us to really like put our bias aside and try to remember through this season from what we saw on the screen. Do we feel like she actually tried?
No, and I think what she's referring to is what we kind of got this on the cruise from hell. I think that privately, Janet had called Kristen a few times. And because Kristen gets mad on the cruise from hell and says, all summer long, you're calling me, telling me you want it to be better, blah, blah, blah. But then you're creating all these things. And I think that's the realities. I think Janet could have been calling her, but not when cameras are there. When cameras are there, she's dedicated to her narrative.
Yeah. Yeah, and I keep wondering, like, she seems actually clueless that this is her doing. Every time she does an interview and stuff, I'm like, you don't seem like you actually seem surprised that people are upset with you. And you seem very committed to the idea that like, no, you were in the right here. So I just wonder, like, is she just actually oblivious to what's going on? And when she watches this season back, does she have a different take on it? Or does she still feel self-righteous?
I find her to feel both self-righteous and like she is the victim
Yep.
in every situation.
Yeah. And it's just like, does she actually think that? Or is she just doing that for TV? That's where I'm at.
I think she thinks it.
I think so too. Story for another day. Okay, so then we get to Jax's.
It seems like everybody is there. We've got Luke there. Jason is there. Schwartz is there. Right? And I don't remember.
Everyone but Danny.
So Jesse is there too?
Yeah, Jesse's there. Luke is there.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody
but
right. Danny.
Yep, everybody but Danny. Okay. First thing I noticed is Jason is coming in holding beer.
Yeah.
And I kept like trying to like see, is this alcohol free? Are we bringing in like, no, it looks like it's just regular beer.
Yeah.
Which I felt like at first I was upset with Jason, feeling like this is shitty to do to an addict, to come over with beer. But then at the same time, we have Jax telling everybody that the fridge is stocked with beer. Would anyone like one? So I'm like, okay, we're drinking.
I mean, yeah, and later he says, like, we're serving alcohol. I'm serving alcohol at this party, so Danny wasn't invited.
Right. Now, I did notice that he was always drinking out of a cup during this, but I'm pretty sure it was alcohol.
Oh, it had to have been alcohol. He's just trying to have, like, what is the word when you're just trying to make it plausible
deniability. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. That's exactly what he was doing there.
Also, he says he doesn't want to call it a bachelor pad. He's like, I don't want to call it a bachelor pad, and I'm like, yes, you do.
Right. And he's like, but I am a bachelor.
You love
yes
that it's a bachelor pad. Come on.
You're 45.
Yeah, he's such a loser.
It's not a good look. By the way, before we go further, just because we saw Schwartz here, did you see? You remember last week when Jax went over to somebody's house with the orchid?
Yes.
Did you see that, according to Redditors, it is the orchid that Schwartz gave Jax, and he re-gifted it?
The same orchid.
Oh, my God. You're on camera.
Yeah.
Like, oh, God. All right. So Jax talks a little bit about how he thinks that Brittany is breadcrumbing him, which is
I was like, babe, that's not what that word means.
No. He doesn't know what any words mean, Lauren. He doesn't know what any words mean.
But he thinks that breadcrumbing is a way that people manipulate somebody else. And what he's trying to do is make it sound like Brittany is manipulating him.
Right.
Which isn't, I think she's just very confused and having a really hard time separating herself from the situation, which like, I mean, it leaves me speechless. I'm like, I don't even know what to say at this point.
I know.
I've said it all.
Yeah, I agree. They pivot pretty quick to Jax starting to talk about Danny.
Yeah, but first he says, I would never have a girl here, and I expect the same from her.
Oh, I think he meant when Cruz is there.
You think?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I don't think Jax would mean, not even Jax would pretend that he'd never have a chick there.
Okay. That makes more sense. Benefit of the doubt. Look at you.
I know. Look, this is the only one he gets the whole episode. So yeah. All right. So then Jax starts getting into Danny and that he's two-faced, and God, his anger at Danny, like not being called out for his drinking it's wild. Like he's really mad about this.
Yeah, he is really mad about this. And it's obviously misdirected. And like, he's basically talking about himself. Like even later in the episode when he's like, "You guys pretend like everything's perfect, blah 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 blah," and it's like, "Babe, you did that. Like you pretended like everything was perfect. You guys put on a front. You guys had Cruz's third birthday party with the sharks and everything the day after you went out for a rager. Like you guys were pretending like it was perfect."
Yeah.
He's so mentally unwell.
I'm not saying that he doesn't have a fair point about the fact that I do think that Nia is hyper aware of the cameras and hyper aware of how she wants them to be portrayed.
Yes.
And so I can see for Jax, like, none in his mind, none of the rest of us are doing that. We are just being, you know, all of our stuff is being caught on camera. We're being real, and you guys are acting like you're so perfect. And nobody is that perfect. Everybody has stuff. So he's not wrong in that Nia is more vigilant than he is on what's portrayed.
Yeah, I mean, Reed's smarter.
Yeah, I would agree.
And he's feeling I think he's feeling very exposed and vulnerable, right? Like all of his dirty laundry is now out there at this point. And well, maybe not all of it, but enough of it that he's being canceled.
Right.
And yeah, I think he's just like insanely envious that they actually do have a good life. And we see them get in a conflict at the end of this episode on camera. And we see Nia trying to manage the situation for sure. That's what you do if you are smart and going on reality TV. You don't want people to know everything. The point of reality TV is that you are manipulating the audience a little bit.
Right.
Because you are allowed to keep some of that for yourself. So anyway.
Right. So, and like,
and he's going on and on about like Danny's drinking and stuff.
And Luke says that he hasn't been drinking for the last few weeks, and Jax doesn't believe it. And he says this line, which I've now noticed because I'm on my 17 millionth rewatch of Vanderpump and I'm watching The Valley. Jax loves to say, "I'm allowed to have opinions about people." Have you noticed this? This is a reoccurring line that he uses.
When he's trying to slander somebody's reputation?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to have opinions. I'm allowed to have opinions about people.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay. So that's when he says this about Danny.
Yeah, he can't stand that. Like, I think also what's going on for Jax is like, he can't stand that Danny is a good person. And that even though Danny has done some things that he doesn't like at least I think Jax actually does perceive Danny as being a good person, and he can't stand it because it makes him feel even worse about himself because he's like, I'm used to being surrounded by Schwartz and Sandoval, two dumb idiots who also do awful things to each other and their girlfriends and in their relationships and stuff. And now we have freaking Danny over here being like pro dad and like an amazing husband and going to church and like doing all of these things, and he's like, he can't stand it.
Well, and he says like, you know, he can't move past it until Danny wrongs his wrongs.
Yeah, the way that he goes on these monologues and the guys just sit there and wait for it to be over and then like look at each other and have this like look on their face like, yeah, he doesn't know any of the phrases.
Yeah, and one of them corrects them and it's like, it's right, you're wrong. And he's like, yeah, that. Like, but it's just gold because he's so dedicated to the line, you know, and it's so wrong.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, so we find out that Danny hasn't drank since Hawaii.
Right.
He didn't drink in Hawaii. He hasn't drank since then. And we get this little flashback with Luke, and Luke being a really sweet friend and being like, I loved the way Luke said this. He said, by the way, I noticed you weren't drinking in Hawaii. And I love that because if you are sensitive about your drinking and you're trying to figure out like, should I drink? Shouldn't I drink? Maybe there's some sort of line I'm crossing. And then once I get there, I like behave badly and all this stuff. And it sounds like nobody said anything in Hawaii to him. It sounds like he just quietly didn't drink. He didn't make a big deal out of it. He just quietly didn't drink. And Luke didn't make a scene about it maybe he had other things on his mind, but it's like nobody made a big scene out of it. They just let him do his thing. And I think that is actually like good friendship, is to let your friend like go through their journey, and then you're right there, you're noticing, you're observing, you're kindly holding space for them to explore that. I think that like, I just loved that from Luke. I think it really shows a good, like, that he has a good character.
I totally agree. I thought Luke, this whole conversation, even the way that, again, what a friend does, like he's standing up for Danny as Jax is on his, rampage about it. And like, no, I believe him. He's not drinking right now. And Jax, you just have, you don't get to talk about anybody's sobriety right now.
No.
You just don't.
No. He also says that Nia called him screaming and yelling.
Yeah, so he is saying that, like, Nia has had to call him several times, screaming and yelling, and he's had to call her to come get her drunk husband.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I don't know either. Here's what we know about Jax, though. He lies and he exaggerates. And I can imagine that, first of all, does it sound like it's in Nia's character to call yelling and screaming?
I bet you that this is my guess. I bet you she called him one time, and I bet you it was towards the end of season 1 when Jax kept insinuating that Danny and Nia got away with a lot of stuff in season 1, and he wasn't going to let it happen in season 2.
Right, when he was talking like off camera on his social media and podcasts and stuff.
Yes. And I would be willing to bet that is the time that Nia picked up that phone.
Yeah, and I bet you it started out calm.
Yep.
And then he escalated it.
Yep.
Yeah. And then he's like, now she's yelling and screaming at me. And it's like, yeah, because you escalated it, bro.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm not totally buying that. Also, he says that he's had to kick Danny out of the bar twice, and I bet it was only once.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he says twice because it's a little more than what it was. I do this. Listen, I have recently become aware of this thing that I do, which it was completely in my subconscious, but I will exaggerate like that. I will say one more than whatever it was of the thing. So let's say that I dropped my phone 3 times today. I'll say, oh my God, it's so annoying. I've dropped my phone 4 times today.
Yes.
And it just like, it happens like without me even thinking about it.
I'm the same way.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
And I think, like, I have a feeling that it's genetic because my son is the same way. We just talked about this the other day. Like, I was telling him, I'm like, you have to stop. Like, you're just like me. You just got to add one more little thing. You don't need to. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It can just be this.
Yeah, people will be just as annoyed with you, alongside you, if you say 3 instead of 4.
Right.
So I feel like that's what he's doing. He's like slightly exaggerating so that in his mind it's not a total lie, but it is still a lie. And it is still like, it paints a different picture, especially in this case.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Because Danny corrects him and he's like, one time. And I believe Danny. I think that Danny has been a reliable narrator.
I think it could have been twice that, like, I don't know if he was kicked out of the bar the night that the Jasmine thing happened, but remember we also heard about this bachelor party or bachelorette party, and he had too much to drink at that.
Well, that's the thing where they were saying about the skirts, which ended up being a complete rumor.
Yeah,
right?
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Right. We knew he had been drinking a lot that night, but we have no idea if he actually
did anything.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just like this continued slander.
Yep. All right. So then we head over to Jesse's house. Oh, do you have more?
Just one last thing.
Yeah.
Jax also says when they were talking about Danny not being invited and then Luke says that he hasn't drank since Hawaii. And then Jax says, yeah, well, he's probably out drinking somewhere right now.
Yeah.
I just can't stand this man.
I know.
He does make good TV. God damn it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that he does. And then it flashes back to them all at a bar talking 3 days prior. And
he's swirling a drink.
We can see Jax is definitely drinking. Yeah, so we're not hiding 100%. It in a Coke cup. This is, you're drinking.
No, it was like a vodka on the rocks. That's what he orders at the end of this episode, and it was a clear liquor with rocks in it in a liquor glass. Like as a bar, I used to be a bartender, and I know like the different glasses you put things in. That was a rocks glass.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he was definitely drinking.
Yeah.
And has been, and that's why he's on this war path, because he needs to make himself feel better, because he's drinking and he's doing the things he's not supposed to be doing.
Well, but Lauren, alcohol is not his problem. It's anger and sometimes Coke.
Right.
You know, it's just that anger and rage and a little bit of blow. That's it.
Yeah.
The alcohol that's never been a thing for him, really.
Right.
So
true. I mean, yeah, we should really give Jax a break. All right.
I know
so
he should
then-
write a book on addiction for all of us. It'll be great.
Yeah, I mean, he has a podcast. So he can probably turn it into a book, and that'd be great. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So then we're heading over to Jesse's house. And honestly, this whole scene, I don't know. I didn't care enough, because he's saying that they got resolution in Hawaii and Michelle's coming over to talk, and he's taking accountability and getting choked up and saying that he's so tired. And like the whole thing, I just was like, I don't care about you two anymore. Like, I'm over both of you being angry. I'm over both of you being the victim.
Yeah.
I'm just over it.
Yeah.
Like he went, I don't think he gets enough credit for the fact that he had to go on a trip to Hawaii and watch his not even ex-wife, like, loving up on a guy that she clearly was at least talking to while they were married. Like, the whole thing, it's just, yeah.
I know. I think that, like, Jesse has surprised me this season. And maybe it's because he's super smart and aware of how he comes off, and he's just trying to come off well. I don't really care.
Right. Yeah.
Because I don't think he's equivalent to Jackson anyway. I think that I think he's just a little bit of a drunk goober. And I think he can say things and manipulate people because he's smart enough. But my takeaway is I don't think that Michelle sees the way that she escalates the situation between the two of them. Like, he will say something and then she'll be like, well, you didn't do blah, blah, blah for me. And it's like, that's not going to be productive if you don't hear what he's saying and, like, take it in. And she can't. She immediately becomes defensive and she escalates the situation, just like what I was saying earlier. And yeah, I think that, like, I think that Jesse took the high road. He not only had a conversation with Aaron and, like, forgave Michelle, but he seems really happy for them. Like, actually seems happy for them somehow. Like, yeah, go be happy. I want you to be happy. And earlier in the season when he was like, Michelle isn't happy, I'm trying to move on and Michelle isn't happy. Like, do we think that could be actually what's going on when we actually look at it?
No, I don't. I mean, well, first of all, let me just say that I really respect the fact that that is his attitude, because I feel that way about zero of my exes.
I want the worst.
Right.
I'm just kidding.
Like, you either need to not exist anymore, or I hope it's awful the whole way. So good for him for taking the high road and, wishing her the best.
Yeah.
I do think that she's happy with Aaron. I think the only part of her that's unhappy, I think, is that she wants everybody else to hate Jesse as much as she does. And she's angry when they don't.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
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 And he's just not as hateable.
No. And also, I think she threw away the beanie. I think she threw it away, and I think his face told her he's not going to think this is funny.
No. Yeah, I agree with you.
And
I don't think that she held that joke for too long.
Yep, way too long. And so when she's like, I'm just kidding, I'm like, no, you fully fucking threw it away.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You can't do that. Like,
no.
First of all, that beanie clearly meant something to him. My husband has this buck shirt that just has little holes everywhere. It's falling apart.
Yeah.
He wears it when he does outside stuff. He's got to do some lawn work, fix a sprinkler. I want to throw it away. It needs to go. He does not want me to. And so it lives on until it can no longer stay on his shoulders.
And then it'll go in a museum.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what you do. You know,
Yeah.
like I think she threw it away, and I think she was just spiteful and mean.
Yeah, I think so too. I also love that he thinks he lost it at Chateau Marmont, which means that he wore it to Chateau Marmont, whatever it's called, the place where all the rich celebrities hang out. And I love this. I think it's so funny. People in LA love to wear a beanie as like a fashion statement because they never actually have winter. So they wear it as a fashion statement, as like a, this is my like hippie kind of vibe that I'm going for. And I just think it's like actually kind of cute if we were to like observe people that live in LA as like little like aliens that we just observe from afar. And like, you know, when they feel like they want to just be kind of like in their hippie vibes, they put on their little beanie and they wear their little glasses. And I just think it's really cute.
Yes. I 100% agree. Now, don't get me wrong. I like a beanie. I think it's a good look. I
think
do.
he looked cute in it.
Yeah, 100%. But it'd be like if I saw someone in Florida wearing one. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Next, we get to a scene where Brittany looks so beautiful. Her hair and her natural makeup looks so beautiful.
Yes. Okay. Good.
Yes.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
I'm not loving the outfit.
No, and it's just the outfit. It's just the outfit choices. That's all it is. Like, she's a beautiful girl. We've said this 100 times. She is beautiful. Yeah. It's just the outfits do nothing to show you that. No,
they sure don't.
No.
But her hair color, and who comes over at this?
This is when Kristen comes over.
Kristen and her. They have the most beautiful hair with like their highlights and stuff. I want to like take it to my stylist and be like, give me this. Whatever their like base color is, and then the highlights that they get looks so good.
I agree.
Yeah, so anyway, they both look really beautiful. I just especially love Brittany when she looks like natural. Her hair is down. It's like kind of just in a like little tousled look when she's not trying too hard.
Yeah, I totally agree. So yeah, this is when Kristen comes over. And Kristen had went for her ultrasound, and this I thought was like this I thought was so shitty. As she says that after the ultrasound, she gets an alert that she has 4 scripts to pick up, and that she's got messages that tell her, like from the doctor's office, that like infertility testing isn't covered, infertility drugs aren't covered, and I just thought like I cannot believe that no one called you first.
Yeah,
this is so crappy.
I know
that you're finding out because of scripts that are called in, and and I also thought that there was a part here where she said, you know, like, fuck Jax, fuck Janet, none of that matters the way that this does. And I really, really believe her. Like, she would be willing to give up every lick of the drama, all of just for this to please work out. And now we know it does.
We do know it does. Yeah, I know. And you really are heartbroken watching this.
Yeah.
You know, knowing what we know now, it's great. But yeah, I feel like that kind of thing puts everything into perspective for you. And that's one of those moments where it's like, you know, Zach and I talk about this a lot with Benny. It's like there's these moments in your life where it's like there's a before and after. Before you knew you were infertile and after you knew you were infertile. And like, luckily it works out for her. But like, that was probably one of those moments for her where she's like, the world just shifted. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That was all I have from that one. You have anything else from that scene? No? All right. So then we go to Benji and Zach going to Norma's, which I swear, I don't know. I felt like this was like a dispensary or something. It seemed, because of the way the tables were so low, and like, it didn't seem like you were going to eat food here.
Yeah.
But I looked it up, and nope, it's cocktail. I mean, they have very little. Like, they have like 5.
Yeah, it looks more like a intimate cocktail bar, but like, I think that they probably set up the table and stuff for the show. I bet it doesn't. Oh.
No.
Like you just sit in your own room all by yourself?
I went on their website and because I just was like this right when this scene started, I'm like, this is a very uncomfortable way to sit and eat and drink. I don't like this. And then Zach said it as well. So I'm like, let me look. So I went onto their website and that is like the setup. And now there are like another table, you know, maybe 20 feet away, but the same kind of thing, like this very low table with your chair. It's just odd to me.
Weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks very intimate. They look like they're on The Bachelor or something.
Yeah. Yeah. And so Benji starts talking about, you know, like his divorce is going to be final on Zach's birthday.
Did we know he was getting divorced?
Yes. We heard about it at the beginning of the season when also when the deportation stuff was going on and all that, like it was mentioned then. And Benji talks about like how he didn't want the divorce for a long time. And I don't know, this moment felt a little like, I wish he wouldn't have said it on camera, I guess. Cause I'm like, well, now I can't tell if Zach's more into you than you are him. I don't want him to just be like your rebound divorce thing, you know?
Well, yeah, Zach, I think is more into him than he is into him. And that might be okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, they're still together now. We know that because he sent you a cameo.
Right. And they just did Brittany's podcast together.
Right.
And sorry, Lila, laying on my cat's tail. So we do know they're still together. They definitely have that dynamic, though. Did you listen to that episode?
No.
They have this dynamic of like, Zach is obsessed with Benji. Benji tolerates Zach, kind of. Like, it's like a little bit of a like, kind of antagonistic, like Benji is antagonistic towards Zach. Zach is like doting of Benji. That's kind of the vibe.
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously I knew Benji wasn't as into him once I found out he didn't even notice the Scrotox. That's, I mean, that's concerning.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, there are things that you notice about your partner.
Yeah, although I don't know, maybe I take a little bit of joy in knowing that not even gay men pay that much attention to the scrotum. I'm all right with that.
Yeah, I mean, nobody should be paying attention to the scrotum. That's sort of the platform that I live and die on.
I think that's fine, yeah.
Yeah.
And so then they also start talking about Brittany and how she's not noticing what Janet is doing. And this is when Zach is saying, like, he wouldn't do this. He wouldn't do what Brittany's doing.
Right.
If it was turned around.
Yeah.
So.
And we believe him.
I do. I really do.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else from there?
No.
All right. We do a quick cutaway where we just kind of take a quick look at everybody, seeing what they're doing, right?
Yep. Getting ready for the party.
Yep. The only thing I really clocked there was that Janet and Scheana have like a full glam squad at their house, which makes me feel a little bit better.
That they look like that because they have like 17 layers of makeup on.
Yes, like
and a beauty filter on the screen.
Yes, 100%. Like when I think it was Jennifer Aniston when she went to the Emmys a few years ago, she did this whole long Instagram where she wanted you to see how much work it took for her to look how she looked when she showed up on the red carpet. She's like, I don't want you to think that I did this. I couldn't do this. And so she just took you through the entire day. And it was a lot. Like, it was wild. So,
not to mention probably all the prep that goes into it weeks and weeks before. They're probably on a specific diet. They're getting tons of treatments. They're getting facials. They're like getting their Botox and their filler and like their eyebrows done and their hair done. And like, it's like all a whole thing.
All the things.
Yeah. That's really great. I like that a lot, especially because Jennifer Aniston does look girl next door-y when she goes on the red carpet. So to know even that look takes a lot of makeup to achieve is interesting.
Yeah. All right. And then
then guys will be like, I like girls that don't wear makeup.
Oh God, shut up.
I know. I'm like, seriously.
You do not. You are such a liar.
I've seen the girls' pictures that you like on Instagram, and I can assure you that they're wearing makeup. Okay.
Okay, so when we get to the Zen party, first of all, everybody is there
Yep.
except for Lala.
Right. She's home with her 2-week-old baby.
Yes, so fair enough.
Yeah.
But everybody else is there. I know we don't really want to talk about the way people look, but Brock's hair is just awful. I'm sorry. It has to be said.
Yeah. So it's like blonde and then shaved.
Yes.
Yeah. I just can't help but think like how often you must have to bleach your hair in order to keep your bald head blonde.
And it's like white.
Yeah.
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 No.
He's going through some things. Okay.
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Michelle has gotten these crystals for everybody.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
So I loved it. I would never let people read a note that I gave them about it in front of anyone. Probably not in front of me, and certainly not out loud.
Yeah.
That felt like narcissistic to me. Like that was like I can't imagine. Like read what I said. Read what I said about what I hope that crystal does for you. Read that.
Yeah, do you think that the producers were like, you have to read the things if you're going to put notes in it?
No, I think she was like, you know what I thought would be cute? Is if like all of you read like what I hope this does, after the summer you've had. Like I think it was her idea.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I thought it was a cute idea.
Like, you what?
I thought it was a cute idea.
Really cute idea. I feel like it's like a really cute idea coming from a person who doesn't seem very thoughtful and sensitive. I could not know anything, but doesn't seem very thoughtful and sensitive. So then I'm like, I don't know. It felt inauthentic coming from her, I guess.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with
that. I
that.
don't really mean that shady. That I know that probably is shady to say, but like it just doesn't feel authentic to her. That's all.
Right.
Yeah.
Jax doesn't believe in any of it at all.
Well, no, yeah, he's an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's feminine coded to believe in those things.
Well, that's definitely true.
And his masculinity is barely hanging on by a thread. So between the spray tanning and the Botox and the filler and everything, like he's hanging on his bald spot,
veneers.
His veneers.
All of it. It's all a lot. Yeah. So yeah, I found that really uncomfortable. I didn't like that at all.
Kristen's message made her emotional.
Well, yeah, she brought up the infertility thing and was like, read that out loud to all of us. So, what are you doing? I don't like it. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody else's notes seemed, I don't know, maybe ChatGPT helped.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely said something nice to everyone, even people that she doesn't really like. So we're going to give her props for that. Mm-hmm. It's funny, Cass, because I didn't have the same. I thought it was interesting that they had to read them all out loud. I assumed production was involved, but also, like, I didn't hate it as much as you did. It didn't make me as uncomfortable as it made you. So that's interesting.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know if some of that is, like, when I write very much from the heart.
Oh, yeah. I hide your letters when you send them to me because I don't want anybody to accidentally read them and be like, have a window into the vulnerability that you share.
Right. Like I'm writing from the heart, whether I'm talking about me or I'm talking about you. Like I'm, and so I would never want that, like that. I'm getting chills just thinking about that. Like, no, we're not reading it out loud. That's awful. No, that is for you. That is from my heart to your heart. And that is it.
Yeah. So. This isn't like a performance. I'm not doing this so that other people think something about me or something about you. This is for our intimate relationship. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily the most, I don't know, personal thing she said was to Kristen about the fertility, which is a huge storyline of this season. It's not like she's exposing something that we haven't already been talking about all season. So
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
To give
also
her the
don't
benefit of the doubt.
I also don't want my ex's advice in front of their new boyfriend. Like when it's like, you know, the one for Jesse, like release your anxieties. And if I was Jesse, I'd be like, just right there. All right.
Yeah,
Like,
like my anxieties are stemming from you slandering me everywhere you go.
yeah, I don't need the crystal. Can you shut up?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that was my takeaway on that. So then Jax takes a shot, which I'm like, all right, so we've decided we're not gonna even attempt to hide this anymore.
Yeah.
It's go time.
And what we know, because he said it multiple times on camera, is that when he drinks, he does coke.
Yes.
So we can pretty much just assume that he is back into his same old, same old.
Yep, 100%, 100%. And so then he wants to talk to Brittany.
Yeah, of course.
Right. And tells her about the idea of like having the camera in the room. And, you know, they kind of like get into, it just turns into an argument, is all it does.
Well, yeah, they can't have a civil conversation. It starts out okay.
Right.
She takes the camera thing well.
Yeah.
And then she goes, but you can't, you know, and then starts immediately like being.
Yep.
I don't even know being what. Like she's just like, I can already see where this is going to go. I think in her mind, like she feels like she can predict the future with him at this point. Like whatever you're doing isn't for the sake of Cruz.
Right.
So whatever it is you're trying to do here, I don't want like anything to, if that's all you want to do, that's fine. But don't get me started on all the things I think you could start to do once you have that power over me again.
Yep.
I think she's just so terrified because of how much power he has over her and influence he has over her. I think she's just like so terrified. Like she has to have every wall up.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did think it was funny, just like when she's like, you know, I don't care about your condo. And he's like, it's a townhouse.
Yeah, I just posted that on our Instagram.
Just like, yes, Jax, that's the point. That's the important thing that you should make sure you drive home. And so, yeah, like they just kind of went back and forth for a few minutes, but this is when I felt like towards the end of the fight, this is the real Jax. When he says, I'm not going to sign anything until the absolute last minute. Because why should I? Why should I? That is the problem that is Jax. Whatever I can do to make it harder for you or make it more uncomfortable, I plan to do that. Because I can.
Yeah, I'm going to say when I have my wits about me, when I feel like it serves me, I'm going to say, I just want the best for her. I want her to be happy. I want her to go date. I want her to fall in love. I don't care what she does. I just want Cruz to be good. All of this stuff. And then we see this.
Yep.
She says, she's begging him. Why? Why won't you just sign the divorce papers? And he says, because I don't have to.
Yep.
Because I want to punish you. Because I feel hurt by you. Because I feel victimized in this situation. Yeah. And another thing that really upset me about this conversation was because he always tries to weaponize her messaging him. Like he even does it on the reunion. We see a preview for the reunion and he's like, that's not what you said 3 months ago or whatever, you know?
Right.
And he always tries to weaponize whatever she says to him. And I do think he feels like she's hot and cold and he feels confused by that. I do think that that's how he receives the messages. Like he sent her a picture of the flowers. She's like, I was trying to prove to you that I could take care of the house that you said I couldn't take care of. And I'm like, Brittany, stop centering your life around this man.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yep.
They need to never speak to each other one-on-one again until they need to be through a mediator until they're through all of this.
Yep.
They need to have one of those apps where you can only talk through the app and your lawyer sees everything or whatever it is. Isn't that what you said that one time?
Yeah, the judge sees it. The judge sees every text that you guys share.
Yeah.
And you just like, you upload your receipts for the doctor. And the judge says you now owe her half of that receipt. You have 45 days to pay it. That's what they need to be on. And they probably are now.
They are?
I said they probably are now. Like, just based on, like, that is the preferred method of communication by almost every family court if there's this kind of dynamic. Like, they, as soon as somebody comes to court and says they're not doing what they're supposed to be, or they're texting me things like blah blah blah, then it's like, okay, you guys aren't allowed.
So when does court start?
So it really depends on like how you filed. So, like, for example, in the case of, we'll talk about this more when we see each other in a couple of days, but like in the case of Kelly Wolf, if the court has to step in because of like a temporary restraining order or anything like that, and there's kids involved, right that moment, we're in it. And that's within, you're going to be before a judge within 10 days of filing. If nobody needs that emergency interaction with the judge, then you're probably going to be 6 months to a year, because most courts are going to order mediation. Now, the mediator will also say part of your parenting plan is going to be that you can only use this app to communicate going forward, you know, because they can feel the dynamic between you as well. If it goes all the way to trial, then yeah, you're going to be like a year away. But let's say that Jack starts using again, Brittany could easily file an emergency motion, just saying, like, I don't want him to be around Cruz. And right, she'd be in front of a judge within 10 days.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they've started court or not, because what she said on Watch What Happens Live is that their relationship is still terrible.
Then yeah, I would bet not. I mean, it's expensive to take. I mean, even in cases where you don't have a lot of money, you're just living in like small town USA. If you're going to go to trial for custody, your retainer is going to be, you know, about 30 grand.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I mean, at this point, Britt, like, you lose money every day being married to this man.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that really upset me about this. I wonder where they're at today. I would really hope they're going through one of those apps, but you know, fucking Brittany probably isn't making that happen.
Well, and here's the thing, like, Brittany would be under the same, she's not going to be able to say what she wants to say either.
Right.
You know?
I guess if they have to be on camera and stuff together, maybe they're not, like, what would be the point?
Right.
So maybe they can't go like that because they have to be on camera together. Maybe him leaving. And she's happy that he's leaving, by the way.
Is she? Well, good. Good.
Yeah. Which is what we wanted. Like, we thought, oh, maybe the stability and him being on camera is good for him, but she wants him off the show. So
yeah,
that might have been part of it too.
I did like that at the end of this conversation, she seems to like see him for what he is.
Yeah.
When she starts pointing out, like, you know, all his flaws.
She says he's a greasy man-child. Yep. I mean, she summed it up in 2 words.
Yep.
Is that 3 words?
No, I think no, man-child is 1 word.
Great.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, then we get the tirade of Jax attacking Danny.
No, before that, we have Janet trying to apologize to Nia.
Oh.
And I say trying because it is the worst apology I've ever seen. Like, I'm sorry I used harsh language. Like, no, I'm sorry that I've tried to portray your husband as an alcoholic, sexual assault committer. Like, it wasn't good. And I still thought Nia handled it with grace and kindness, but set the boundary of, I just would need space.
Yeah, she's a queen.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. And then we get to Jax, who by this point in the episode, I think has had quite a bit to drink.
Who?
Jax.
Yeah.
Has had quite a bit to drink. I think it's possible he's done other things.
Of course he has. There's no way he hasn't. He has told us that that's what he does. I have 1 drink and I'm looking for a bag. That is literally what's come out of his mouth.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and this is when he like tries to compare Danny to Jeffrey Dahmer and then realizes that he means Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
And neither of those are good analogies, but sure, Jax, we'll go there.
Yeah. So you're trying to say that he is like secretly as bad as a serial killer?
Yeah. Yeah, he's got everybody fooled, just like Bundy did.
He's like, you're a great father. but you're a terrible drunk. Is that what he says?
Yes, but first he's like, right before he goes over to him, he's talking with Jesse. And this was another moment where I really liked Jesse, where Jesse is like clocking what the reasoning behind Jax's outburst really is.
Yep.
And is like, you should talk to him, not me.
Yeah.
Which I was a little bit like, I mean, I appreciate the drama, Jesse, but you had to know that was not going to go well. But thank you.
I think Jesse's just like tired of hearing it. He's like, you have been ranting and raving about Danny to me for this whole season, this whole summer. You will not shut up about this man. You're obsessed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm tired of hearing it.
Yep. And so that's when Jax goes over to Danny and they have like this 30-second weird interaction where they're both like, what's up? Oh, what's up? I don't know. What's up with you? Like, it's just like, good God.
And then Brock looks directly into the camera and walks away.
Yeah.
He's like,
yeah. And then he says, you know, you're a great dad. You are a great dad, but you are a terrible drunk. And
he's talking about himself.
Yeah. And I will say, like, during this scene too, you see, I'm listening to Scheana's audiobook right now, which is what made me think of it. But I was like, Scheana, it's not a good look. Like, Brock says to Scheana, did he just say that he's a drunk? And Scheana, the whole time, she's just like
yeah, who do you think she's texting?
I don't, she's probably on Instagram.
Oh, no, I think she was texting somebody.
I hope so. Like, I hope that she's like, she just seems like she has no situational awareness and is just in her own world.
Oh, you think so?
That's how it looks.
Yeah.
And it's sad
I felt
to
like
see Brock.
she is like rapidly filling somebody in on what's going on.
Maybe. But it's sad to see like Brock turn to say something to her and she never even acknowledges it. Yeah. I'm like, that's not a good look. And so then Nia kind of hears the fight start and then she comes over. And now it's just like, this is the moment where all hell starts to break loose.
Yeah, and Jax is pointing aggressively at her. And Jax, leave Nia alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he's upset because, you know, you guys he's so fixated on this. You're trying to make everyone think you have a perfect life. We're so perfect.
And by the way, he's loving this.
Yeah.
I was watching him during this moment. Like, this is the most alive he's felt in months.
100%. He's like, I'm finally back, baby. Yeah. Like, rehab did nothing for me. It's just, yeah. That's not good.
No, it's not good. And he's being very, like, people are having to, like, step in between them because they're worried, I think, that it's going to escalate into something.
Yeah.
They're worried it's going to be like a sweater taking off moment where he like takes off his sweater and like tries to beat up Danny.
Well, I also think that Kristen is a little bit like, you're going to get fired.
Yes.
Stop it.
She's trying to protect him.
Yes.
You're right. You're right. You're totally right.
Stop. Like, she, you know, can see the writing on the wall and is just, God, Jack, stop.
She's like, you had one last chance. This is the last day of filming.
Yes.
Like, you only had to make it through one more night.
Yes. Like, I think she's genuinely sad for him. She's known him so long.
Yeah.
I think probably does want good things for him. And
I think so.
She's watching him blow it.
Yep.
So.
And she wants good things for Cruz and Brittany.
Yeah. When Danny walks away, I'm not quite sure what happens. I mean, I love the breaking of the fourth wall. But Nia comes over and is like, there's a camera. They got all that on camera. There's a camera right behind you. And at first I couldn't tell if maybe because he walked near the bar and I couldn't tell if maybe he had gotten himself a drink. Like, because I was like, which part? It seemed, because what was weird was that then he's like, yes, there's a camera right there. There's a camera, you know, and he's looking directly at the camera and he's like, and there's one right there. Like,
yeah, like it must be right there.
Right. And so he's like, so for her to be like, there's a camera right behind you, like, it almost seemed like maybe he did something like get a drink.
I just can't imagine that if he did, that's not a good sign.
No. But I'm just saying why
that would prop up all of these allegations quite a bit. If during this moment, after weeks and weeks of not drinking, this is the moment that he gives in and has a drink when he knows there are cameras there, when this is their last night of filming, like all of that. So that would be really bad. I think that she just could tell. The way I perceived it was she could tell he was getting escalated and a little out of control and like angry, and she was like, I don't think she likes either of them to be not have their wits about them on screen.
Yeah,
that was how I perceived it. It's just like, you are getting too worked up and you're gonna say something you don't mean.
Yeah. I hope you're right. I just thought it was odd when she was like, there's a camera right behind you, and it's like, there's cameras all around you guys.
Yeah, like the camera looks like it's right there. So how far away could it possibly be? I mean, there's probably a boom right over them.
Well, that was his point. When she says, there's a camera right behind you, he's like, yeah, and there's a camera right there, and there's a camera right there. Like, of course it is, like, so I don't know. That was odd. All right. So then, like, everybody's fighting, and we essentially get, like, these Brady Bunch squares going, where we have, like, Michelle and Jesse are now fighting because Jesse hasn't asked about her mom. We've got Scheana asking Kristen about the Jenna. So, like, are you telling people that I'm bringing Jenna around to upset everybody? I forget who's in the other. Oh, and then we have Nia and Danny, because this is when I think it is, like, Danny is saying, like, I had the kids all day. I was up all night. Well, you had your full glam squad. We've got that going. Like, it's all just went downhill.
Yeah, everybody's fighting, and I felt like maybe I'll defend Danny and Nia until the day I die, but I just felt like this argument between them, yes, like, didn't make him look good to, like, sling that back at her, but to be like, and you had your glam squad today, but it was so relatable. We all do that, where we're like, when we feel like it's unfair, whatever's going on is unfair, we'll, like, go along with it. And then as soon as things, like, start to get tense, you, like, sling it back at them. And, like you're resentful about a thing that they didn't even know you were mad about.
100%. Like, it's like that. I see this TikTok all the time, and it always makes me think of me and my husband. And it's like a wife, and she's mad at her husband because he's not following the made-up schedule in her brain that she's decided on for the day.
Totally.
And I'm like, I feel that so marrow deeply. Like, I've not told anyone that this is what we're doing every minute, but now it's not happening, and I hate all of you.
Yeah.
You've ruined my day.
And you've disrespected me, and you don't love me, actually.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We see, like, Aaron's freaking out in the background. We get some, like, clips of different people having different reactions to what's going on. Aaron's, like, eyes are, like, really big, and, like, well, his eyes are always big, but he's, like, he looks surprised and, like, sort of excited about the drama.
I would be.
And then we get Jason laughing, and I was, like, confused. It looked like he was having, like, a private joke between whoever was standing next to him, but, like, during the conflict while Janet is, like, yelling. And I'm like, I felt like it was one of those laughs of, like, can you believe this? Like laughing at somebody in a mean, cruel way. That's how I kind of read it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I felt like Janet, this whole scene, she's just acting like a complete victim. Like, when she's saying this, like, you called me a whore and threatened to hit me. And, like, she's trying to, like, list out the things that, yes, if I saw them on a piece of paper with no context, they don't look good. But then, like, let's explain your role all summer. And I thought Zach hit the nail on the head when he said, like, she is trying to ruin people's lives and reputations. And I was like, that's it right there. That is the truth.
Yeah. And then she's like, but you called me a whore. And it's like, Janet, the hypocrisy is what people don't like about you. Like, you are doing effectively way worse things to the people on the show. Not effectively, I should say, but, ineffectively, but still you're trying.
Well, and I guess it's hard for me to figure out how you describe it, because it's like, again, on paper, if we're just looking at the things said, she can always stand on the argument of technically that was true. Like,
Right.
this word for this action is an accurate word for that action by the definition I can find, right? Like, and me saying this thing, like, so but it's so like, I would rather when somebody called you a whore, like, there's no manipulation in that. It's just anger for a second.
Yeah.
Like, you're like thinking out how you can actively destroy these people's lives.
Yeah, and you're saying like kind of unforgivable rumors about them. Like calling you a whore isn't like spreading a rumor about you. It's just like calling you a name. It's not the same thing as saying like, you're a whore and I know you cheat on Jason on the weekends. Like that would be something that would be semi equivalent.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's so problematic, and it's hard to understand like what her goal is here. Like, is she performing for the cameras? Is this really what's going on for her? Is this her reality? And it seems like it's her reality because Jason backs her like at every turn. So I think that this is whatever is happening is like what she thinks is happening in her head.
I think Jason is just incredibly naive and just like, I look at him as like, I don't know. It just sounds bad, but like maybe guys I dated in my early 20s that I was like, this is gonna be so easy.
Yeah.
To me, like, I will have all my dinners paid for. I will never have to go to bed with you. This is fantastic. Like, you're very easily manipulated. So I'm excited.
Yeah, and when I heard on that podcast that somebody knows him, the law firm that he works at, and says that he's known as the pretty dumb lawyer, that fits.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah. I think so.
We also get Zach just being very, very upset and like really, I think, upset about a lot of things. Also, he was apparently blacked out drunk during this, which, Zach, stop getting blacked out drunk on camera and saying things you don't mean, honey.
Yeah.
How come nobody's accusing him of having a drinking problem? Not that I am. I'm just saying, like, there's just a lot of double standards in this group, and that's one of them. But he's really worked up, and he yells at Benji. Did you catch that?
Yes, I did.
And you know what I really loved about this scene and what actually makes me feel like Benji's a good fit for him is there's a little bit later when, like, if my husband yelled at me like that on screen in front of all those people, fine, I'm leaving. Yeah. Like, if you're going to actually be like that to me, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I would have been so pissed and like so hurt. And Benji remains steady and calm. And he comes to him later and he's like, I got you.
Yeah. Well, and he says, literally nobody cares. And Benji says, I do.
Yeah.
And then they hug.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you catch when Zach said that he'd punch Brock?
No, but that's hilarious.
God, like, it was not good. Like, I am so happy that Brock was like, all right, we're going to go. Yeah. So I'm like, Zach, you're going to get so hurt right now. It's not going to be good.
Yeah, no. Brock, yeah. There's maybe a few things that Brock is good at, and I'd imagine that'd be one of them.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that Zach is probably kind of like me. Like, I can picture me being kind of like him in these scenarios where it seems like if I don't like somebody, if I think somebody's like not a good person, I won't get past that. Like, I will not be nice to them. I will think mean things about them. I will be upset when my friends are friends with them because they're a bad person, like that kind of thing. I can be very like stubborn about that and be really like frustrated when other people don't hold bad people accountable for their bad behavior. Like when they continue to let them in and be friends with them, I can be really, really stubborn about that. And I could see myself in this kind of situation being really frustrated with being like, am I taking crazy pills? Like, these people are not good people. Why is everyone trying to be their friend? Why is everyone letting them back in? Why is everyone like giving them compassion and like being friendly with them? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills and it's actually starting to piss me off. Like, I could see that.
Well, the other hard part about this is, I think, what comes back to what we've talked about before with the small town, and like the small group of friends, right?
Yeah.
Because I've certainly felt that way when things have happened where I live, where like, why would you possibly be at a bar with this group that just XYZ, right? And it's just like, because that's the friend group, like that's what am I gonna do? Like ice them out whenever I run into them, like it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and I don't know if for Brittany, I hope that Brittany is thinking about like, dude, I don't know what to do because we have this show and we have to film together. And like, I would like to think that that's part of what's going on. But and I think that she struggles when it's an equally, like with Janet, I don't think that she has the courage to stand up to Janet. And I'm not sure why, because when Zach treats someone poorly, if she's close with the person, she seems able to tell them, you went too far saying that.
Yeah, I mean, I think she feels safe with Zach.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also think that Brittany probably can't tell the difference between being mistreated and just raising your voice. Like, I bet in her mind, they're doing equal things to each other.
Yeah. I bet you're totally, yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah, I think that's probably some of her, like, the deconstruction she's going to have to do through therapy, God willing, is learning, like, what does it look like when somebody is actually mistreating you versus just raising their voice, which is still not always okay, but, like, is a different thing.
Right.
Yeah. Um, but overall, I mean, Zach is basically just begging for her to like take his side, and he just does not feel supported by her. And they're good now. They went on Watch What Happens Live together. They do the podcast together. Like they're obviously good now, but yeah, you can just see how much he's hurting, and I think just how much I think he really did want to like be friends with Janet, and Janet just was not gonna let that happen.
Well, and I also think it's interesting that like Jax announces his departure around the same time that Janet decides to go out of town for a while. I know it's a planned vacation, whatever. But again, I just think they both saw the finale
Oh,
and Jax is like, I'm stepping away. And Janet's like, shit, I'm going to go to a different country and shut my social media down. I think there was a little bit of an awareness of how this was going to be perceived.
yeah, totally. Also on the reunion, did you catch that she says that the transformation is due to Adderall and Pilates?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Uh-huh.
The last thing I have is like Scheana has like a bit of a monologue at the end here.
Okay, I didn't catch it.
I don't even remember what she said, but I just remember thinking like, oh, she's auditioning. If she's getting anything in the last 5 minutes of the reunion, if she's getting any airtime in the last 5 minutes of the reunion, then it's because they're thinking about putting her on the show, and she's
Oh,
getting
for
another.
sure.
This is her audition for it.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it plays out. I would like not really. I don't want to see her. I don't think this book is landing well with people. I don't think people are liking her more after reading it. I haven't read any of it yet, but I'm just seeing like the feedback online.
So so far, I would say she probably, I totally understand why she decided to read it and not hire a voice actor. A lot of the times people want to listen to the Audible because they want to listen to the person that I get it. I don't think it was a wise decision though. I think she should have had a voice actor because there's certain things that are heavy or whatever, and she's just overacting the line she's reading.
Eh.
You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. Any last things about the end of the episode?
No, I don't think so. I think that's it. I mean, it's going to be a 3-part reunion. I don't know that they have enough. I'm glad that they'll all be in the same room, and I'm hoping that Andy Cohen does a good job, like with really letting Janet know how the audience perceives her.
Yeah.
That is my hope. Is that he is like what I'm hearing a lot of, and make her answer for that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Okay. So let me tell you a few things that were on Watch What Happens Live.
Okay.
Okay. So Britt says that he's not contributing to the bills or mortgage still, that their relationship is totally awful, that he's not in therapy anymore, and that on the reunion, they're going to talk about what they think about whether he's sober or not. But her synopsis is that he is not sober from everything, which we kind of already knew, but she does not seem pleased about it. So I watched probably half of the episode, and that's what I've gathered so far. Also, Zach is wearing a shirt that says whose show.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And at one point, Andy goes, "So is that shirt to troll Jax?" And he goes, "Who?"
I love that. But here's what I will say too. Like, Brittany, how do you know whether or not he's in therapy?
Right.
You know? How do you know?
Yeah.
That's just odd to me. I know very little about what goes on, like in
your
my
ex's lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
the ones you co-parent with.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. Like, we're not, so I think it's concerning that she thinks, and I also think even with his sobriety, it's like he could be using prescriptions.
Yeah.
In a not good way. Like, being able to get, like, oh, it turns out I have ADHD.
Yeah.
So I just need all these uppers that I'm snorting. Whatever the case may be. So he strikes me, because I've definitely seen addicts that have learned how to think they're not using. Yeah. Because the doctor wrote the script.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think, like, I was going to say it goes without saying, but maybe it doesn't go without saying. We hope the best for him. I hope that he is sober. I hope that he's getting better. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a year. Like, that kind of thing, the getting well from 15, 20 years of substance abuse and a lifetime of being a dick is going to take a while. So,
well, and I think he also has to work on his addiction to, like, his celebrity status.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he wants to give that up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, we will see you later this week for our second episode. We'll probably talk about Scheana's memoir and any other pop culture news that's happening. And until then, thanks for listening.
I'll see you tomorrow, Lauren.
All right. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.